Test. Alright. I think the audio levels should be good now. But in case you're not, what are you gonna do about it? But first let me just show off before I start this video. Just wanna show off this mic. As you can hear, it's a little bit wobbly. It's a bit loose. It's not, I gotta be honest, like it's a little bit, it's just not up to par, you know. Someone definitely like took this thing apart and was messing with it, and now it's a little bit rattly, but it's a really pretty mic. I just got it today, so I figured I'll just test it while I record this video. Actually though, I got two of them. This one's a little bit less rattly, so I'm kind of just gonna use this one as like my main one to beat up, and this one I'm gonna try to take care of. But anyways, that's not why I'm making this video. The reason for this video is just to reflect on the state of collective. Let's workshop this, cause I'm thinking this out loud in real time. So what it is, it's a collective feeling of, the term that I'm looking for, that's what I'm trying to pinpoint, but the overall feeling is one of where it feels like every day there's just less creative and artistic and things of substance that are being put online and being made, or so it seems at least. So the reason that I say this is because for the last 10 years, 11, 12, I don't know, I would say probably starting around like 2014, so 12 years, which is at this point half my life ago. 25 now, so this is when I was 12, 13 years old, right? I'm thinking back on these days, 2013, 14, 15, 16, up until 2020, right? This was kind of like a golden age for YouTube, for creativity, just for putting stuff out there. You know, it seemed like every day more and more people were just joining, putting things out there, being creative. It just seemed like there was so much abundance, like it would just never end. And you know, it almost seemed like there's just so much stuff that you'll never be able to watch it all. It was a sense that every day there's more people making creative things that haven't been seen before, haven't been done before, haven't been thought of. And it was just this sense of curiosity and just wonder and hope for just, you know, what was to come, what would be next. And so for the better part of, pretty much for the entire rest of the 2010s, it was that way, right? Year after year, more and more creators kept popping up, and more like new stuff kept being made, and it just seemed like we were in this golden age era of media. Peaking, I would say, around like 2016. 2016, and then starting to taper off 2017, 18, 19, etc. But I say all this to say that now, being a grown man, objectively, I'm 25 years old, I'm not 14 anymore. I was just laying on my bed, and I just started reflecting about how just like, man, like now when I go on YouTube, tumbleweeds, you know, like I can count on my fingers the amount of like new creatives that I've found lately that are actually worth listening to and worth watching. It's really not a lot. Part of it is because I've narrowed down my selection. You know, I've limited my inputs, and I'm very selective now of what I actually want to consume versus just any slop, you know. I try to be very picky about that, and that does make it a bit more difficult to find stuff. But you know, even then, it's kind of a dilemma because a person who is creative, who is what I'm describing, someone who makes things of substance and things like that, it's kind of a dilemma and a conundrum because we've created this ecosystem that rewards quantity over quality. So the current algorithm promotes obviously posting multiple times a day, daily, multiple times per week, versus someone who posts once a month, once every couple months. So you can't expect actual creatives to be pumping stuff out pretty much every day. Yet, I think we kind of still expect that I still expect that just because of the culture that was built around YouTube and just creative stuff within the past 10 years, you know. It felt like every day there's always going to be new stuff and just new this, new that coming out. But to me now, it feels like we've reached a point where it's all just, it really is, as much as I hate to say, it really has become a lot of an AI slop, or two, just very low effort content, if you can even call it that. So to actually find something that actually makes you feel like you are truly learning something or actually taking something away from it has become increasingly rare and difficult to come across. And I don't really have a solution to this other than what I've personally have started to try to do, which is, you know, since obviously there's not a lot of good quality stuff being made, I've kind of pushed myself towards challenging myself to try to make that same kind of stuff that I want to actually see and hear and interact with. So this year I'm challenging myself to make an EP, 4 or 5, maybe 6 songs at the most, like a 20-minute maybe project. Nothing insanely, like, I'm not talking about an album, but you know, I'm just challenging myself to at least be able to finish like 5 songs and take those to completion. I've been learning like music production for the past like 4 years at this point now, and I have improved a lot, but I still feel like I haven't pushed myself to truly like take something from nothing to like a complete song and project and everything. And I feel like I have a lot to say, so that's what I've been challenging myself to do, and that's how I've been kind of counteracting this creative drought that feels like it's permeating all of society. You know, it's easy to just want to just scroll and be passive and not have to think about your own life and yourself and what you want to do. It really is. It's a lot easier to just scroll than it is to reflect. But I think part of making good art, making good things requires, looking at yourself critically. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to learn more about who I am through this process. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to keep working on this. I'm hoping to have this EP done by the end of the year. And it's let me touch on this as well. Since I'm talking about doing this thing, but I haven't done it yet, right? I've just started it. There's a certain kind of, I don't know the correct term, but when you're an artist, when it comes to making things, right? You make things, one, for yourself, but two, also for, maybe not for other people, but you want other people to see it and to react to it and to give you feedback, That's just part of being a human in culture and society. So when you're starting out, it can be intimidating because I'm going into this with no fans, nobody. Nobody knows who I am. Nobody cares about what I'm doing. And so I'm trying to push past that because there is that side of my brain that's like, why go through the trouble of doing this if it might not even pay off, No one might listen to it, no one might care, no one, it's just a drop in the bucket. So I'm constantly trying to just fight against that mentality and reinforce that, even if that is the case, just the act of making the thing itself is the reason for doing so. And that's helped me. So I think that's pretty much the majority of what I wanted to cover as far as this topic. So